Tell us about how you got introduced to him. I'm assuming Dirk introduced you?
Yeah, Tavon, for sure. So I met him before, but he wasn't no artist, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was just like one of the members, you know what I'm saying? Like I see him, we were talking all that, but it wasn't no music. I remember he getting out. I remember he called me from jail and Dirk like, hey, he trying to talk to you, Dirk. And I'm talking to him. And he like, man, I need you to turn me up like you did Dirk, man. I need you to do like you did Dirk, man. Fuck with me like you do Dirk. And that was the same approach that T Grizzly came to me, so I'm used to people saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn me up like you did Dirk. Because Dirk was really the first artist I got to show, like, I will grow you from plateau to straight up, you know what I'm saying, out of this world. And for me, that make me feel good for artists to recognize that. But what make me feel even better is to see the gratification the artists get from being able to see themselves grow. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I met him through Dirk, and I took it serious, but it was like, think about how many artists around us and OTF and like the little sub labels that these artists got that they want to put on other people. And it was like, when we made our first song, it was Beat the Body. And I'm like, oh yeah, I fuck with this song, it's cool. I'm seeing it grow traction, but it was like, at the same time, I'm seeing Von not take music serious in real life. So I see him recording that song, but then in real life, he worry about how he gonna make some money, how he gonna keep this going, what's this, that, and the third. And I understand that. And I told him, and he would call me all the time, like, man, fuck with me, send me some more beats. I'm yeah, all right, I'm gonna send you some more beats.
You've probably seen a lot of artists like him who are talented, but just too in the streets that it's kind of hard for you to imagine them being able to really
artist.
do it.
Yeah. So eventually, by the time Crazy Story came around, I told him, I'm gonna give you this beat. I'm gonna give you some beats, and if you don't put some real money, effort, and time into this, it's not gonna be no more beats. And he was like, I swear I'm gonna do that. He's like, I don't want to do nothing else but this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you gotta show me, fool. I hear you talking, but you gotta show me. And he would send me record after record, and I gave him like 4 beats, and he did them. By the time we had the first 4 songs, I was like, oh, I think I can do this.
Really?
Because really, before we even made them records, he was working with Young Chop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm walking in the Chop house, and Von right there, they working it. And I'm seeing like, okay, cool. And then I don't know what the situation was. They stopped working, and he called me like, man, I need to be like Dirk, fool. I need you to treat me like. But he really wasn't. When he was really saying I want to be like Dirk, he was really trying to tell me he wanted me to treat him like Dirk. He want that reverence. He want that respect. You feel me? He wanted me to care about his music.
Right.
And I was like, if you want me to care, you got to show me you care. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if you don't show me you care, it's no way that I'ma care.
Right.
And eventually, by the time, I want to say, maybe 4 months after us really doing it, I'm like, man, I'm gonna help you grow, fool.
Because Crazy Story was such a huge song, but then at the same time, it was like, I felt like a lot of people were kind of like, is this just a gimmick? Does he only have one flow?
And that's what we kept talking about. And I was like, let's plan it. So I started actually planning it with him. From my experience with Trippy, Dirk, T Grizzly, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to really show you how to grow as an artist, but you got to listen to every single thing I say. Like, if you don't listen, fool, yeah, I'm going to let you do you, and I'm going to step back. He's like, bro, I swear I'm going to listen. And he listened. He's one of the only artists I ever worked with where like, I got a relationship with artists where I could always be like, no, that ain't what's up. Or, man, you go back and do it over. But with Von, he cared if I liked every single bar.
Really?
We'll make it together. He'll send me voice memos, and when he send me a voice memo, fool, I make a hook to it, and then that'll be the hook, and then he used that voice memo as the verses, and we did 40 songs like that. Fool.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he was sending you voice memos of just what he thought the hook might sound like.
No, he'd send me voice memos of it wouldn't even be a hook. It would just be like, I don't know, I can't even play it, fool. Like, it'd just be a voice memo of him rapping, and what I would do is I send him how it should go on the beat. I send him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I gotta see. Let me see if I can find it. I got even everything, almost all these little, like, let me see. You know what I'm saying? This is him and Moneybagg Yo.
And
you know
you could
so what I did was I'm like, so he know. Really, I told him the formula of me and T Grizzly making beats because I see him and T Grizzly I look at Von like a mix between T Grizzly and Lil Durk.
Really?
Because T Grizzly's approach was he wrote so many songs in jail, he just don't know what to do with them. So I said, you know what? Instead of us making new songs, send me them, put them in a voice memo, say them, and I'll make a beat around it, and I'll put it together for you. I'll tell you.
Do you have to actually put that in the program and then start beating the? You just hear it and you.
Yeah, when I heard this, I knew what type of beat should go with it, and I just went and made the beat.
Right.
And then I sent him a voice memo back on how the flow of that should go on the beat. You know what I'm saying? And like for instance, like the I Am What I Am song with Fabio Foreign. I had to beg this man to use a drill beat. He was like, hell no.
Really?
He was like, I'm not dancing on these bitches, fool. He was like, I'm not doing that Pop Smoke shit, that dancing shit. He was like, fool, we doing real drills. I'm like, listen, fool, you gonna do this, fool. He was like, man, how you know it's gonna be hard? I say, bro, what if I told you it wasn't hard? Man, all right. So I sent him the I Am What I Am, song. And I was like, you gotta do it like that. So look, he in the shower. He in the shower. Singing in the shower. Singing in the shower. And I gotta make a song out of it.
Wow. That's badass to not even turn the water off before recording the fucking voice memo. I would have turned the water off.
And I'll be like, look, nah, we ain't doing it this way. That's too slow. That's the same hop you use on this one. Take them words, but do it like this. And that's how we move, fool. And it's like, he listened to me. Wow. Everything I told him. He's one of the only songs. He's one of the only artists I ever met that just, he listened to me, no questions, no nothing. He like, if that's how it should go, you know what I'm saying? He used to say like, is that how Dirk them did it? And then eventually he understand, like, I took an amalgamation of two different formulas and made your formula. Because he was like, he would just pull out this nasty looking ass notebook. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, what the fuck is that stain? He's like, man, I don't know, bro. I had it in jail, fool. Yeah. He's like, I done smacked a nigga with this notebook before. I'm like, what? He's like, I smacked a nigga with the notebook. I'm like, fool, what the fuck? Nasty, slimy looking ass notebook with brown pages, and he got a whole goddamn 30, 40 songs in there. So I'm like, listen, fool, instead of us having to go in here and hope we catch a vibe, send me something you know you like, and I'm gonna adapt it to how it can be palatable to other people.
Did you ever see him punch in, or was he always writing stuff beforehand?
We did both. So basically, all the songs you hear, like it's two different stages for us. Cause we made 2 albums in his kitchen.
Wow.
While he was on house arrest. He couldn't leave the front porch. You know what I'm saying? So I come to Atlanta while I'm working with Dirk or whoever I'm working with, I come and go over his house. And it was treacherous at first because I'm like, fuck. I just got to sit here all day, can't leave, can't do nothing. But eventually we developed a chemistry that allowed us to really communicate with each other without even using words.
And you're used to being fly-ass studios and shit. And
you know what I'm saying?
You're in the living room?
And this, you got to think about it, this is a year ago. So I'm me already. And it's like, all right, whatever, fool. You know what I'm saying? I really want to go, but it's like, I believed in him because I understood like he wanted this so bad that he could be still trying to find some way to scam or whatever he wanted to do, even while he on house arrest and he can't get no money and Crazy Story popping. But no, he want to make more music, and that showed me like, okay, you're not just taking this shit as a joke. This is an opportunity for your life to change.
Right.
And through that process, we made 3 albums. You know what I'm saying? And every song I produced. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I every beat he had, I would either take a beat I already got and tell him this should go to this, or he would send me them voice memos, and I'll make a beat and send him a voice memo back of how the song should go. You know what I'm saying? And that it worked. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate just that whole situation. I appreciate, but above anything else, fool, and even the fact like it saddens me, fool, that like he not here no more because his literal dream was this. You know what I'm saying? Like his dream was this.
Right.
His dream is people to appreciate his music. You know, and like I could never get like while he was alive, I could never get him to understand like, fool, you just gotta listen to me and it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually he understood though, fool. Like he stopped questioning what we were doing and he kind of started trusting what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Because he understood that I'm not gonna go nowhere. At first he was kind of scared of me going somewhere, fool.
Really?
He was scared of me like stop fucking with him at any moment.
Were you scared of him going somewhere else? Like
nah. He needed me. I knew it.
Really?
Yeah, because this is how I knew it. Because when I'm not around him, he'll call me on FaceTime and just sit on FaceTime with me. I'm like, bro, I'm about to go. He's like, bro, just stay right there. I'm like, fool, we're not doing shit.
Yeah.
We on my fucking battery about to die. He like, we can't just chill on the phone? I'm like, and do what? He like, we can't just chill? I'm like, and then that's why I understood, like, he just want my energy. He understand that, like, I kept him on the music vibe.
Right.
And then when I'm not around him, he in the studio, he'd sit there, I'll prop my phone up, and I'll be doing something else wherever I'm at in the country, and he in the studio like, all right, play that bar back. You fuck with that bar, Chop? I'm like, it's cool. Hold on. Go back, do it again. You fuck with that part? You know what I'm saying? So every single song we did like that, to where that trust was built. And like I said, let me see. Cause he did the same. This is what else I want to show you. He did the same. The one thing I like about Bonnie, he was so genuine, fool. He did the same thing Dirk did for him for other people.
Really?
Man, look, this is him like, hey, this is my homie from jail. It sounded just like Dirk telling me this about him. This is my homie from jail, man. It sounded like he really didn't even have no faith in him. But it was like, I'm going to do what I told you I'm going to do.
Right.
He was like, man, I told him I was going to get him a beat from you. He got a song. This man is in jail. He like, man, you ready? Go rap for him. Look, listen.
Go. You ready? Yeah, go ahead, go crazy.
Can't even hear this shit.
It's just a random guy in jail?
It's his homie in jail. And it just sound like it's just like he spitting in the mic or something.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you got that? I'm like, no, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I see the intent was for him to show the same love that he got shown.
Yeah.
To
definitely.
see his intentions, to see his heart was just more, that was more encouraging to see the realness. Like, fool, I remember Von was so mad he couldn't make no money while on house arrest because he couldn't leave. And he didn't want to over-exacerbate himself or overextend himself and burn out himself by just making himself available and accessible to everybody. So he couldn't just do features. He pissed. Like, man, I got all this going on and I can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I'm like, fool, don't worry about it. Because when you get off this box, fool, you're going to have all this bread waiting for you.
Right.
He didn't want to hear that shit. That shit was eating him up inside, right? But just to see, I like for instance, I'd give him some bread. Like, he'd be like, hey, fool, book this lift for me. Lift $200. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He like, just book it for me. Book it for me. Fool, I remember just the little bitty things I would do just to make sure he wouldn't go out his way. The minute he got in the position, he tried to do the same for me.
Really?
Even though he knew I was established, I didn't need nothing. He just wanted to show that the love I gave him was reciprocated, and not just received, but was given back. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to give back that love. Like, so when he started getting some real paper, he was always trying to buy shit for me. I'm like, why didn't you buy shit for me? He was like, bro, you done did all this, woo. And then, like, this is what, like, man, I'm like, this, like, it damn near, I damn near got emotional when that man was like, because it's like, I didn't tax him on his projects. Like, his first project, when we did our first project, when we did Grandson Volume 1, I didn't tax him for that. And he knew I was getting a huge number for beats. Even then, this was a year and a half ago, I'm still getting 15, 20 a beat. So he knew I could have taxed him. But no, I'm like, man, nah, man, close to free, fool. Just because I knew they didn't have no budget like that. And then with LeVon James, when they came around, I kept the price the same. And I could have, man, you popular now. No, I know this is not the time to eat. Man, without me having to talk about it, without me having to say anything, he let me charge like 4 or 5 times that amount.
Really?
For Welcome to O Block.
Once he was signed.
Yeah, when Welcome to O Block was about to come out, he was like, fool, since you looked out for me on that, I'm about to let you eat. I don't care what you charge. You know what I'm saying? The whole budget me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, understanding that somebody, not only, because it's like you can show somebody some love, but in the back of your head, you like, do they even care? Not only did he care, he wanted the love to be felt back because he wanted me to understand that he appreciated it that much. You know what I'm saying? And just going through that was like, man, mind blowing, fool. It was like, damn, this fool he real as hell. How can somebody be this real? You know what I'm saying? The only other person I've been around was real like that to where like it's like an unspoken thing to like I understand that like you my homie and I don't want to tax you and I want this to keep going, so I'll take a loss on the overall just to make this keep going. Not only did he understand that, not only did I understand that, he understood that. And he made sure he gave that back when he got in position. And he didn't have to. Right. He could have been like, bro, you just charged me this last 2 albums, why you ain't just... No, he was like, fool, this is your time to eat.
And it happens all the time where, you know, a producer will basically go hard for an artist, and then as soon as they blow up, they're working with every artist or every producer. They're working with a million different people. They don't give a fuck about you.
Listen, I begged him to get in the studio with everybody.
Right, I was going to say, what was your attitude on him working with other producers?
He didn't want to.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't want to. He was like, fool, I don't give a fuck about these niggas. And I'm talking about, I'm giving him Wheezy beats. I'm giving him Jetson beats. I'm giving him ATL Jacob. I'm giving him whoever around and popping at the time. Twisted Genius. I'm putting them in the studio with these people. I don't want to be in the studio with these people, fool. And so eventually, he didn't open up until Welcome to Old Block. And during the creation of Welcome to Old Block, I would have to literally call these producers and make them sit in the studio with us. And that's the only way that they actually got records with Von. You know what I'm saying? Even when he would do stuff with like Hitmaker and all them, he didn't want to use the records because he was like, that ain't even me, that's them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like his comfortability level with me was a different way. Even when he in the studio with anybody else, he would just sit there and make me sit with him like, fool, just stay here. Like, or he'd make me mediate the session. He'll be in a different room than the producer and make me go back and forth to mediate it. Like, I don't want to talk to him. You do it, and then you bring it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And, bro, like I said, fool, it's only a handful of artists I got that connection with. And it was like, during that process, it's not a lot of major artists that fuck with Von. And I'm gonna make sure I say this shit. Like Sway Lee, he really fuck with Von. Like, before anything, he was asking about Von. Trippie Redd really fuck with Von. You know what I'm saying? Really sat there and asked about him, like, how can he contribute? What can he do? Let's get a song together. They sending me songs back and forth for them to get on. You know what I'm saying? 21 Savage really fuck with Von. You feel me? Lil Baby really fuck with Von. You feel me? Like, it's people that Moneybagg Yo, I gotta remember, like Moneybagg Yo with no question, boom, hopped on whatever we gave him. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's certain artists that before he had that clout from Welcome to Old Block or that huge exposure and that people expected him to have, and then to his untimely passing, before any of that clout or false gratification or appreciation, these are artists that rock with him that were in a way different bracket than him and tier to him, but still reached out because they saw what the trajectory was.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the level of progression that we saw in terms of like from Crazy Story 1 to all the way up to the release of
Welcome to Old Block.
That's like, it's crazy, like how serious he seemed like he was really willing to take it. I remember like listening to his earlier stuff and thinking like, this is good, but it doesn't sound like he's 100% figured out his style yet.
Listen,
and then by Welcome to Old Block, that is one of the most hard Chicago rap albums in so goddamn long. It's a real
because
classic,
he let me sit there and control it. Like he didn't like a lot of times I remember artists, it's like pulling teeth. It's like tug of war, not pulling teeth. I ain't gonna say pulling teeth. It's tug of war. You want your influence to be felt and they want their influence to be felt. With Von, after him seeing each project go up gradually, any bit of progression for him was good. You know what I'm saying? It was appreciated. So by the time we got to work on Old Block, he like, you just tell me what to do, fool. I'm listening. Like, go ahead, go crazy. Everything down to me picking the songs, you feel me? And me telling him who should go on what and sending who what the features and how and when. Like, he allowed me to have that control to where, I mean, all three of his projects I executive produced, but this project, I really feel like I executive produced because I made him, like, it's like you can't be real with an artist sometimes. You know how, like, whatever stigma that the public got on that artist, you can't just flat out say that to that artist because they'll feel away. Von wanted to do that. I was like, fool, they keep saying you making the same shit over. I'm like, so this project, we're going to do melodies. And then the next project, we're going to do King of Drill.
Right.
You feel me? The next project is going to be called King of Drill. And that's because he finally understood that he can approach the drill wave without sounding like the New York wave. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the I Am What I Am, he realized, oh, that is hard. And I had to convince him. I had to send him a 2-minute voice memo of me playing the beat and rapping his lyrics to how I wanted to go on that I Am What I Am beat for him to actually even listen and believe that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And through me doing that, the trust level that we got together, fool, is unbelievable, fool. And I appreciate every second I had with Von. I remember my last conversation with him with some shit I ain't never, it was like just unbelievable. It was like the last couple months with Von was unbelievable because like what I always wanted in my entire career was for me to have my own artists from, like, not just like like Dirk, he my artist for sure.
Right.
I'ma always be associated with Dirk. I'ma always be on every project he ever put out.
But he was already established by the time you started working with him.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like he started like he had This Ain't What You Want that broke him out. I broke King Von out. You feel me? And just to have that level of appreciation and control over the situation, man, I felt like that was my real new goal. My real new goal was to have my own artist, and I knew I had it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like T Grizzly is my artist for sure, but like he had First Day Out, and then he came to me to make sure his sound go. It's like our artists would have like Trippie Redd. I made Topanga. In order for me to have Topanga, Trippie had to have Dark Knight Dumbo, and people would start sleeping on him, and that's what made him do some big shit like that. But before then, it's like he still had Dark Knight Dumbo. Vaughn ain't had nothing.
Right.
I did his first song and his last song. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I remember my last conversation with Vaughn. It was I was doing a favor for the head A&R over at 300 Salim. And I was in there with Shot Glizzy. So we going to Paramount Studio X, my favorite studio out here. Tell me why I walked up to the studio, I looked up, and I saw the billboard for Welcome to Old Block. And it said, Welcome to Old Block, executive produced by me. And I remember me telling Vaughn, fool, I'm going to make your ass a star, fool. Give me 1 year, you going to be on billboards. So I looked up, damn near started crying, fool. I called him. I say, fool, look at this shit. That nigga say, yeah. He said, nigga, we did it. Nigga, he's like, I'm straight on now, fool. He's like, fool, you straight did that shit, fool. He's like, I love you, nigga. You straight did that. He's like, you did exactly what you said, fool. He's like, I owe you, nigga. I'm like, you don't owe me shit. We going up. And he was like, man, I love you, fool. I was like, he's like, I'm gonna be back out there in 2 days. I'm about to do this show tonight. I'm gonna call you after the show. That was it. That was the night he died.
Show.
Yeah, it was the show.
Oh.
And it's weird, fool, because it's like, I'm not even sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm mad as fuck. And it's like, I'm not even, and it's not like I'm mad at a person. I'm mad at Vaughn. Because he left me out here to do this shit by myself. He left me to keep this shit going by myself. And that shit, man, that shit hurt, fool. It's like, I can't listen to the music no more. I can't, it's hard to talk about him without feeling like jittery and nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like, to talk about my best friend in past tense feels so weird, fool.
Damn. So when all that shit was playing out in the media, when the video comes out and everything, you say you're mad.
Hell yeah.
You're mad at him for how he handled it, that he didn't
I
think
was
it
mad
through
at how,
further?
not even that. I know Vaughn. So I can't act like that wasn't him. He reckless as hell like that to where he stand on business.
Right.
So I understand, like, that's how he move. Vaughn is he a honor-driven person. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he been in jail, so he do a lot of fighting, fool. You know what I'm saying? And I know he like the little boy niggas. More than anything, he like the embarrassed niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad on how that went down. I'm mad on what we gotta do now. You know what I'm saying? Do this without him.
Right.
And to help somebody dream continue to live on without them being here is heartbreaking.
Definitely.
Because he literally put his life on pause to get better at this. He put his life to the side. He put his personal life. Like I told him, you're going to have to sacrifice your social life to do this shit. And he did it. And right when he did it, that's when we started getting that traction. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, fool, man, I love that nigga so much, fool, just because I ain't never had nobody show me the same love I gave back. They always gave me some love back, but it wasn't the same love I put in. He made sure I got the same love I gave to him back.
Right.
And it was like, damn, fool. And it's like damn, it was like with Vaughn, fool, it was like King Vaughn was two people, fool. You know what I'm saying? I was King and he was Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? That's how close we was, fool. You feel me? Like, every single song he ever put out, we made together.
Right.
Even if I ain't make the beat, I gotta make him rap on the beat. Tell him, this is your type of beat. This is you. This is the sound I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, I really felt like he was two people, fool. Like, I was King and he was Vaughn. You feel? Because for real, like, it was like this. Like, he wouldn't make a song, even even close to when he passed. I ended up coming out to LA because he got tired of me. He got tired of him coming out here, and I wasn't out here. Every time he want to come out here, I'm still in Atlanta doing something, or I'm in somewhere else working with somebody. And eventually, he was like, "Man, come now." I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna drop what I'm doing, just come fuck with you." I'm like, "The album come out Friday, I'm coming, fool." You know what I'm saying? And we was able to just sit there and for the first time ever during that little situation, we was able to sit there and appreciate the work we done. Because we can't never talk about it like we did something because we always felt like we ain't did enough. But when we did Welcome to O Block and he saw that people was rocking with him the same way he wanted to rock with people, that's when it was like, oh man, he felt like he was living his dream. You feel me? And he would just do stuff like he understood that his voice held weight now, and that's what he always wanted. But what's even more important is that the voice behind it, the whole weight, the respect is from the music, not the streets.
Right.
You feel me? It's something that he can actually stand on without having to worry about ducking your tail or hiding your back.
Right. But that's the question is, did you see him struggle with or have a hard time leaving the streets behind in terms of
hell yeah.
acting like a celebrity?
He never left the street behind. He never acted like a celebrity. Hell no.
Right.
He was always a reserved person unless you knew him. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know Von, he reserved as hell. He won't even talk. He like in some shit like this, when we just sitting right here, he would be on that couch sitting there not saying a word, fool. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't say a word and just sit there and peep the scene until he addressed. You know what I'm saying? But if he know you, man, he the most outgoing, goofy ass dude you met in your life, just outrageously, unnecessarily funny.
Right.
Like he just do silly shit just to do it. Like he the type of person to be like, fool, what if I just, he was like, you on point today? Yeah, he was like, what if I just steal your ass and take your chain right now? I'm like, shit, you ain't leaving this room. I bet you on point. You know what I'm saying? He'd say shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, dude, he just enjoyed life, and he was just so happy he wasn't in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because he, like, it almost felt like he was afraid of just going to jail and not coming back. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was in jail and when he was calling me, he was like, man, he was like, yeah, they fuck with, he just wanted to update on his career. He didn't even care about what people thought about him or how they thought it. He cared about what people thought about his music. Like, they fucking with that shit. So that shit going. Hey, he'd call me one day. Hey, what that video at now? What? How many millions? Is it a million yet? Is it woo? He was on that type of time. He only cared about him progressing in this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's hard to get a person to fully drop everything in their life and focus on one thing without them seeing immediate gratification from it. And the fact that he had that determination, consistency, and dedication to keep it going no matter what was going on in the outside world that wasn't revolving around music, that was big as fuck to me, fool.
Did you ever tell him you putting a little bit too much of the street shit in the music?
Hell yeah. It's songs, I say, what the fuck is you on? Bro, it's songs we got now that, like, it's a song we got, like, You've
heard all the bars that didn't make it out.
Yes, and they is bogus as hell. And that's like when we did Took It to the O, and he got the dude with the dreads playing. You know what's going on? Like, he got the dude, he's shooting, dude threw a brick at his car, he hopped out, popped him in the head. Like, that type of shit. He would try to tell his real stories and kind of, but it was like he wanted to act like that wasn't real when it was too verbatim.
There was an element of truth in all of it that was pretty
obvious.
It was hard to look past.
Yeah, it was obvious. Like,
and say what you will about, Chief Keef, Dirk, they both, handled beefs a little bit in the music here and there.
Yeah, he put that
but
in the
it
music.
Was never, you never really heard them put what they're dealing with in the street in the music, at least not lately. Maybe back in the day a little bit.
Nah, he liked to embarrass his ops on the record. He only did that because he knew they would hear it. He wanted them to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
But he also had to know that the fans were going to resonate with that, and that the fans, if you're going to be a rapper, you're basically turning yourself into a superhero, and if you can create a super villain for yourself, then you can really be telling them a story, right?
King Von was the type of person to bring a pole to school at 13, fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what me and Herb was talking about. He knew it was real when Von walked up to him in school. He was like, boy, them niggas in here. And he was like, he had flashed the pole or something. He was like, Herb knew every day from there it was up. He was like, oh, we bringing guns to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's on now. He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school.
Oh, man.
And he was like, Von was the one to start that off. Because he was like, them niggas in here, boy, and then flash his gun. He was like, what the fuck? So, this what we doing? He's like, everybody went and got poles the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Von, that type of person, he always wanted to be a trendsetter, but it was like he finally able to be a trendsetter in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Like, Von ain't never, he only like a terrorist because he got terrorized. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody lose their fair share of battles. But like Vine worried about that war. He knew how to play chess, not checkers, strategically do things that are just way more detrimental than a fucking bar. I mean, way more detrimental than a fucking doing a drill. He gonna have to do some shit to where your best friend liked the song and he dissing you in it. You see what I'm saying? But you can't help because the song fire.
That's the ultimate revenge.
You see what I'm saying? Like your cousin liked the song, but the song about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's way more disrespectful than somebody shooting at you because the shooting gonna be over. We gonna play this record every chance we get. You know what I'm saying? So just to see like him to be able to turn a negative situation and a negative connotation on people that he come from, on the people that represent from where he come from, just to change that outlook and to be like, you can turn this around, but only if this is really what you want to do. Because actions speak louder than words. You can say, I want to be a rapper, but you scamming half the time to fund this shit, and you into it with your baby mama every day, and low key you still got a pack you're trying to get off. That ain't you really want to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's you deciding to make rapping your hobby. You being a rapper is you dropping every single thing that's outside of music. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't revolving around the advancement of your career, you dropping it. You know what I'm saying? So when he finally did that, it allowed us to really not just go closer as individuals, but us to even grow as musicians. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew in that, and it's not like I grew musically, but I grew as far as learning how to even create the foundational basis of a relationship with an artist in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Approaching it more of in a personal standpoint instead of being a broadened standpoint. Because like normally when I approach artists, I try to think about how other people treat them and stuff. And now like through me working with Von and T and Dirk and them, it's like even with Trippie Redd and Sway Lee, like me working with them way more hands-on, I realized that the relationship's way more important than just you sending a beat out or they knowing who you is. Because somebody can know who you are, but they don't mean know you. And just that realization to me helped me change my outlook on how I approach my relationship with artists.
Yeah, so you worked so closely with Vaughn and saw all the success, and it was taken from you so quickly. Like, could you imagine yourself having that same kind of relationship? Is that something that you're looking for? Are you always looking for artists now at this point? Are you really looking forward to finding an artist where you can sort of create the backdrop for all their shit?
I don't know, fool, but I do know one thing. I'm focused on doing what he asked me to do when he was alive. 2 weeks before he died, he was like, fix my relationship with T Grizzly and do what I did for him, for T, like I did the first time.
Really?
Yeah. He asked me to, like out of his mouth, like, bro, fuck with him, because he was like, him and Dirk, the reason I'm fucking with you. Fool.
What, so you and T Grizzly fell out at a certain point?
No, hell no.
Or he fell out? Fix his relationship with T Grizzly? What do you mean?
He meant fix. Me and T Grizzly used to be like me and Von. Now me and T Grizzly like me and Von is now. We talk every day, all day, no matter what. But Von started to change because it was like, you know what I'm saying, people go their own ways. And it's like the way you want your career to grow, if it don't go with how it was already going or how I thought it wanted to go, I'll probably fall back. And it was like, I didn't just fall back. We both kind of fell back. You know, T focused more on getting his real life together, the personal situations that went on in his life, and him being affected by that, he kind of became more reclusive, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't have nothing to do with me. But so when he meant fix my relationship, he really meant get back to how it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't ever had no argument or falling out. I love my brother, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, he asked me to get back close with him. And he was like, do that like you doing with me, fool, because that's the reason why we working. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, get on this T Grizzly song then. I hear you talking that shit, but you gonna hop on this song? Man, he did that shit so fast, fool. You know what I'm saying? He's a real, genuine person, fool. And that's what I'm doing now. He asked me to like, just turn T Grizzly back up how we was when we made our first album. Like I produced T Grizzly for whole first album, Activated. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, he was like, get that vibe back. That's what he really meant. Get that vibe back when we were close like that. And that's what I did.
I assume you did the Dirk and T Grizzly project too?
I did the whole thing. Yep. I did the whole Blooders, and then I did the whole Super Vultures with Dirk and Reese.
Right.
And then, so it's like, I understand that the relationships are more important than the music now. Because the music is always going to be there, but relationships and people are not. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I make it a way more effort for me to be hands-on with not just the artist, but just to hang out with him and chill. Like me and NLE Chopper. Like me and NLE Chopper talk every day. You know what I'm saying? And he know, like, I really appreciate him, because, like, when I was going through with Vaughn, he would just call me to see what I'm doing. He'd just come out to see how I'm doing and make sure I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with music. You know what I'm saying? Like with Dirk, I hang out with Dirk. It ain't got nothing to do with music. With T Grizzly, we hang out. It ain't got nothing to do with music. It's helping us build our bond as individuals together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's more important than me making a record, because I can make a record with you any day, but this bond that we build is gonna last the rest of our lives.